So let's see if this is the moment. And I say now. Here we go. And so we are coming in for the kill. At least that's what we think. 3 players have surrounded Purple's glorious army. And Purple is surrounded. And I think, what are they doing? I think we got him. Oh, these guys are totally late for the battle. We do manage to destroy that army. Meanwhile, Yellow's army is now in full swing and he is maxed out. And he's got 100 units and they are elite Mungadai. They are beginning to hurt us badly. Here I am telling my team we need siege. So, Yellow and Purple making a heroic stand here. Bit of an awkward place, but it's actually a really good place to be defending against multiple siege units. Alright, welcome everyone to another very memorable game of Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Alright, so we're on a new map today actually, and this is the Straits of Malacca. So this is in actual geography, this would be Singapore. And I can see how this map wouldn't necessarily be the favorite of many players, but you know, if you have a group of 8 players who know the map, you can have a really great game on it. So what it is that you have 2 teams, of course. 5 players start on the South Continent and 3 start on the North Continent. I find this pretty uncommon actually. A lot of maps will have maybe 1 player, maybe 2 on a separate island, or both teams are on even islands of 4 each. But to have 5-3, it's pretty uncommon. What that creates is an interesting dynamic. So we have the 4 Team South players on the South Continent. Meanwhile, you will have, let's switch to the other side here, the 4 players on the North team. 3 of them are on the North Continent, and 1 of them is here on the mainland. Now, that may seem pretty ridiculous at first, but what it means is that Team North needs to come to the aid of this player in time before the South team can eliminate him. What it also means, though, is that if, for whatever reason, this player were to lose or to die, to fall out of the game anyway, then Team North would still have a chance, because they would have the entire North Continent to kind of make a rebound. So obviously the map is not actually, it's not even, but if you have a group of players who understand the map, then you can have some interesting dynamics. And on the other hand, if Team South fails to take out this player, then obviously they're in a really tough spot, because it means they can't even control their continent. But if they can, then they have the larger continent, and then in theory they could win the game alone. So anyway, that's a little bit of the dynamic there. So let's see what happens in this game. I will simply say that both teams had very cohesive teams, which is always good to see, and always nice when you have teams that are actually playing as a team and not just as 4 independent players with no coordination. So Team South, we have Teal here. This is me playing Mongols. I had full random, I did not select them actually. We have Orange playing Malay. We have Green playing Sicilians, and Red playing Hindustani. And then on Team North, we have here Purple playing Portuguese. Yellow is Mongols, so another Mongol in the game. Gray is Poles, and blue is Byzantines. Now I do have to apologize, because for whatever reason this issue is, I need to fix that at some point. You see that it takes a while before the graphics adapt, so this house here looks like as if it's mine, but it's not actually. It belongs to Red. Alright, so pretty quiet at the beginning. So there is water on the map, so one of the first things that a team would want to do is get an edge on the water. But one of the interesting things about that is just that there is so much coastline that even if one team wins the water, so to speak, it doesn't actually mean that they control the water, because the other team can easily build, or fairly easily build, some docks in a position which is not covered by the other team. So basically there's a chance for rebounding if you lose the water. and there's also a lot of risk if you are over-dependent on the water. So we'll just see if that comes into play in this game. But anyway, so not to give it all away, but let's just say it does. So, alright, I'll speed it up here. I don't think there's anything happening for a little bit. So two fairly evenly matched teams. So we have some opening salvos here. Blue is raiding orange, but it's actually Team South that is taking the early lead here and beginning to push against Team North. So Team North is kind of trying to pull off a little bit, but you can see Team South does have the edge. I think one of the reasons is because Purple did an early castle, and I guess recognized how exposed he was. He's walled off, perfectly walled off actually. Look at that, amazing. That is one natural park university there. And so there's no way in as far as I can tell, and he has a castle up. He's already in the castle age. But he doesn't have any water, which means that the rest of Team North is a little bit exposed. But who cares, because they do have the North Coast here. But Team South is actually aware of that, so they will go ahead and raid the North Coast as well, but at least in the short run, the Team North is able to continue fishing. But Blue has actually escaped this and manages to keep his dog, which is kind of interesting. This one's going down, but so we'll see if... Alright, so here it is. I mentioned to my team, they can switch to my here. You can see that I did flag to the team that there's this area up here, and so I tell my allies to come north. I'm not sure if they follow me, but that's at least what I told them. That's interesting. Yeah, Blue actually got away with this dock. He has not lost this dock. Alright, we'll just go back to... So this is just what I can see here, and you see I am trying to raid the fishing boats that got away. So I think most players are now in the castle age. Actually, Gray is still in feudal, but Purple is already the imperial age. So he did go fast imperial. Makes sense as a Portuguese player, and he's already building his first Feitoria. Now, I'm not sure if I would agree with that move, but being so early, I think that villages are definitely better than Feitorias at this early stage in the game. But who knows? He wants to, he's building the organ guns, and he wants to micro them. Makes sense. So I did a little bit of damage here, and Yellow was forced to push away his fishing boats. But he has found the fleet, and so he's now giving chase. But the fun thing about this is that I'm actually aware that there's quite a bit of open space here, so I do manage to get away with these boats. So one neat feature in the map is that there are a couple of little islands here, so you can, if ever you are besieged in your base, you can get out sometimes and get some extra resources somewhere else. Alright, so still no major land battles. Let's just speed it up there. Let's take the vision of Team North. So we'll see that hardly anyone has any army so far. This is the extent of the land army. And if we go to Team South, this is the extent of their land army. Pretty much non-existent. But I did tell my team we have to build some castles here, so that's what we do. And we know the plan is to hit Purple as early as we can. Alright, so I'm trying to do another raid here. And unfortunately I did not find any fishing boats. Oh, I do sail past them here though. So both teams playing pretty greedy. But if we look now at the globe, so to speak, Yellow has rebuilt a fleet. Blue has a fleet as well. And so this the water has definitely not been totally conquered by Team South. It kind of looked like that for a while. I don't know what happened to Green's fleet actually. Team South controlled the water there for a while. Still has some fleets. But looks like Team North is making a rebound on the water. And Purple, the one player from Team North on the southern continent, is definitely alive and well and is building up. So we'll have to just see how that plays out. it's really green here who's doing the lion's share of... so I'm helpfully telling my team to build fleets, but I don't actually have much of a fleet, I don't think. And it's actually green and orange who have the fleets at the moment. So this is interesting. Blue has managed to rebuild his docks here and has a fleet. So you have two fleets here just right next to each other, right across the bay. And I do believe we're about to see a land battle, or a sea battle. So are these melee? Yes, these are melee docks, so they are shooting back. Great that he had that upgrade so early. And here, Gray, who had been lagging behind, we saw earlier, is coming in for some action, but is going to be engaged by Green's fleet as far as we can tell. And Green probably gets this engagement. But pretty even fight here, and the first land battle is beginning. So it's actually Purple, who's alone on the mainland, is the one who goes on the offensive first. Team South, even though we're 4, we are actually currently on the defense on the mainland, which is kind of an interesting thing when you think about it. So it looks like Orange has managed to win the engagement. Blue has landed a couple of villagers, so we'll see if he manages to do something with that. And I think we missed it, but I had also raided again up here. So yellow is left with, you can see some of the boats are damaged. And Team North had to be distracted by putting some focus on the Northern Sea. Meanwhile, they're also busy on the Southern Sea. So definitely Team North has a tough position here because they have to defend two sides. Team South only needs to defend on one coastline. But it also, again, gives a bit of a sneaky place to maintain a fishing fleet. So Blue's fleet was destroyed, and Orange actually mentioned that he had destroyed Blue's fleet, so I think I missed that. But and Green and Teal, so that's me there, and Green, we are rebuilding our fleet. But another enemy fleet is coming, so that's a lot of sea battles here. I didn't quite see that in the game. My focus was definitely here, and we see that Purple is focusing completely on land. We see that he's got how many Victorias up? I don't know. It's probably unforgivable that we allowed him to build this many. 4. And here comes Yellow. Yellow has landed as well and is now beginning to drop a castle on Team South in support of his ally Purple. So Purple has been definitely holding his own until now, and as mentioned is now on the offense. So quite an impressive force that he's built up here. 24 elite organ guns. Can't say the same for myself. I only have 12 units, but I am fighting as well on the water here. So once again, Yellow's fleet destroyed by Green, I think, and Team South is actually seems to be holding their own. But Orange allowed Blue to build knights, and now he's got to deal with knights on his continent. Despite that, Team South is actually, well, we were just ahead of the score. It just switched actually. So you see a very close game. And Purple is just going all in on the Victorias. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6. That he was allowed to build that much is probably unforgivable. We really need to hit him much earlier than that. So all these sea battles did distract us. And Purple now needs to deal with building forces. Does he have any units? He does not really. I don't think he does. He has 1 knight. That's about it. All the rest of Team South's army is over here. And we have a fleet here. But we do not have any ground forces over there. Alright, so let me just speed it up here. So it looks like Orange is holding his own just with his docks shooting, giving these knights a hard time. Unfortunately, he did not manage to convert anything. Oops. So a little bit of a stalemate here, but Yellow is building up, and so until now Yellow had just been building fleets, continues to build fleets, but he now has 3 castles on the mainland, and is building even more production buildings and is soon to help out purple, but it doesn't even look like purple needs to help. He is just shooting everything down to pieces. And Team South is having a rough time, and obviously we're losing units in really stupid ways. We do have a force that's building up here. Green has a force coming up here. Red has units here and there, but some rally point was bad. Alright, so here come the Karambit Warriors, and he is taking out Blue's landing. So I have a real stalemate here between orange and blue, more or less, although it looks like orange is getting, blue is getting the upper hand. I see here I'm saying E-rally, but I'm trying to say rally. I'm saying rally their forces, rally their forces. Alright, so things are really getting a bit worse here for Team South, even though we're ahead in the score. Purple is moving into red's base, and orange is being knocked off the water. Green and teal, though, we are holding steady over here. The question is, can we somehow destroy this army? So here I am complaining to my allies, telling them, call for help, you know? Get to 300. So green is now trying to raid purple from behind, but the real thing that we need to do is destroy this force here. But it is a bit tough here, because look at this. The north team is slowly building up forces here as well, and now look at this. Yellow, who is on the other side, does not just have a fleet anymore, he now has ground forces as well. So it's not just purple. Purple was holding his own by himself, and now yellow is about to join him. So Team South not doing well. We are actually behind in the score. So the question is, can we turn this around? Can we regain complete control of water, and can we destroy purple? Which is something we really should be doing. Purple, though, has such a gnarly base here. There's castles everywhere, completely walled off, and he doesn't even have many villagers because of all these victorias, so he's not really vulnerable to a raid. What Team South really needs is siege, more of this stuff. Well, let's see if we can manage that. Alright, so purple continues to push ahead, but he is surrounded. We have green's knights up here, orange is here, red is here, and teal. So let's see if this is the moment. I say now. Here we go. And so we are coming in for the kill, at least that's what we think. 3 players have surrounded purple's glorious army. And purple is surrounded. And I think, uh-oh, what are they doing? What is he doing? Oh no. I think we got him. Oh, these guys are totally late for the battle. We do manage to destroy that army. And his supply just got way down. And looks like green is raiding yellow up here, which is a pretty good move. Blue continues, though, to destroy the coastline. Green is holding steady here. Unfortunately, these transports were supposed to do something. They were supposed to go over there, but that's not what happened, at least not at this point. Alright, so we are taking down this castle without siege. At least we've pushed back purple, which is kind of hilarious to think that 4 players needed to rally like that to beat back 1 player. But you gotta do what you gotta do. But yellow now has a real army here. I believe I was trying to raid purple, but it's really difficult to raid a player who does not have any villagers, you know? You need to take down these victorias, that's all you can do with siege, and we don't have siege. So something needs to change there. Alright, green was able to get his fleet up here, but yellow is continuing to fish. Let's see if, and so is gray, I think. Let's see if green can take advantage of this moment, and he does. There it is. Alright, green is raiding the fish up there, and blue is raiding down here. So we have multiple fishing raids happening. It's the same place I had raided early in the game. So unfortunately, yellow does lose a lot of his food income there. And now Team South, we are ahead in the score again, and our plan is we have to find a way to fight through. We see that Gray has actually also landed down here. That's impressive. Gray, who was up here, has landed some forces down here. And here I am telling my team we need to retake water, and Orange reports that he's rebuilding his fleet. Give me 5 minutes, that's what he says. Meanwhile, Green is also raiding the water up here. So Team South is actually in a pretty good spot here. We've beaten back Purple's army, and we're raiding Team North. Team North's fish is being raided down up here. Orange is rebuilding his fleet. We've maintained some water here, but what's this? Blue has landed again. He landed once over here, and now he's landing again. He's about to raid us on land. Meanwhile, Yellow's army is now in full swing, and he is maxed out. He's got 100 units, and they are elite Mungadai. They are beginning to hurt us badly. And here I am telling my team we need siege. So, Yellow and Purple making a heroic stand here. Bit of an awkward place, but actually it's actually a really good place to be defending against multiple siege units. And even Gray is showing up. And Blue's raiding here. So the game is definitely in flux. Not at all determined. Team South is ahead right now, but you see there are now at least 3 fronts. Water, North, and East. And I believe I had some units here, but they have already died, I imagine. So let's just see, where am I actually rallying my forces? Alright, so we are unfortunately just going straight into the cauldron here. And not really doing too much damage. It's really just a stalemate. Alright, so Orange does see this. And I believe he might have flagged this. There, I flag it, I say I'm coming. At least that's what I say. I'm only coming with villagers that are about to die. So Blue is dropping more and more castles, but here come the reinforcements. So see, this is what I was saying at the beginning of the game. Such a large map that you can have Blue's fleet here, Orange's fleet here, Yellow still having a fleet here, and up here actually. So multiple fleets. It's really hard to control the entirety of the water just because of how much, there's all these interesting rivers here as well, how much coastline there is. So it looks like Team North has actually won this battle, so whatever momentum Team South had a few minutes ago seems to have been lost. Our force has been destroyed, and Yellow is in full swing. Switch back to him, I'm pretty sure he's maxed out with units on the mainland. Both teams are trading as much as they can. I feel like we might have been able to do a slightly better job with the trade. Maybe I could have put a market back here somewhere. Unfortunately, there isn't really anywhere to build a market. Maybe there or here. Try to extend it a little bit. And Team North is now back on the offense. We have pushed this back though, as far as I can tell. So we are pushing back. Blue's landing, but every time it's like a game of whack-a-mole. You hit here, that's when the eastern front collapses. And you rally at the eastern front, that's when the northern front collapses. So, but Orange does seem to have now really created a massive fleet. Not really doing too much damage at the moment. This really would have been an opportunity maybe to land. Let's see if he does it. This was a really awkward moment. I actually had units in his castle. No idea how they ended up rallied inside that castle. Really irritating. I'll mention quickly now that there's a bit of a glitch right now, which is that some of the forest you see is actually already chopped down, so it's a bit of something needs to be fixed. So Red, who is actually in a pretty rough spot right now, he still has lots of supplies, still building a lot of units, but doesn't really have much of an army, and he says that he can't counter these Orkan cats, and he's kind of right. He's Hindustani. I don't think Hindustani have much of a... Hold on, let me just check again. No, they have Imperial Camel Riders, so he does have something. So I'm not sure. He definitely could use more gold, I guess. He needs to get his trade line up and running. But yeah, these organ guns are just causing so much havoc. I think my force just died without even doing anything there. That was a bit unfortunate. So quite an impressive gunpowder archer, cav archer combination here. But don't rule out Team South. We are actually, nope, we are not ahead in the score anymore, but we have at least taken care of this. Orange is now retaking the sea, and we will see what we can do over here. So I am maxed out, but I don't think green is. Let's see what green is at. Nope, not quite. 130. He is at the front line though. Here he's saying that he's going to increase his trade line. Let's go to red. So both green and red have been hurting because they're at the front line. And orange is mostly focused on the... which makes sense. I mean, hold on. So look at this. Orange has a lot of resources. He is maxed out, but he's mostly focused on fighting blue and firing at the coastline. Takes down a outpost here. Let's see if that has an effect later in the game. So it kind of feels like Team North has the upper hand here on the southern continent. They are just continuing to push further and further, deeper and deeper across the continent. Here I am spam clicking buildings. And purple, is he maxed out? Almost. This is what Praetorians do. They allow you to micro your forces because the resources trickle in slowly, but they do trickle in. Alright, so I am asking for wood. Just got some. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the game, a lot of good cohesion on both teams, and so every time resources are asked for, people actually send them, which is a bit impressive in both directions. So, Team South definitely hurting, but here we go. At least part of my force is attacking, the other part is going slowly, and we are now trying to turn the tide. But gotta say, this is an awkward battle here, going against Mangadai and organ guns. I do think though that I'm starting to... No, I don't. Alright, for a second I thought I was shooting my trebuchet at his organ guns. It's a bit of a stalemate here on the water, and I can't say that orange is achieving much right now, to be not to be too critical on my ally. I mean, he is taking out the trade here, so that's good, but that can be easily fixed with just one new market somewhere. The rest of his supply is just kind of stuck here. So a bit of a stalemate. Meanwhile, the team is suffering on the land. Oh, look at that. They are mining it. Alright, so red in a tough spot. Just about, yeah, it's 5 cavalry units. He's about to go under 200 supply. Still has a lot of resources though. So let's see how he manages that. He is trading, but his base is starting to be ransacked, his main base. Alright, so here I come with siege onagers finally, and orange is helping out how we can. So it is a tough battle here, but I think these fast Mongol... Hold on, let me just check that again. What do they have again? They have drill. Siege workshop units move 50% faster, so I do believe I have that upgraded. So I believe I have now fully upgraded siege units and cavalry archer units. And you see it here. Siege onagers, all kinds. Getting slowly to get some hits in. Green is also continues to be in the fight. I do believe that orange, no he does not, he loses this battle. I believe he loses the sea battle and he takes out all the markets except one, so that's, you know, close but no cigar. But things are not looking too bad here. Team South is rallying. Gotta say, I'm not sure if I've ever... Usually siege onagers, in my experience, they really derp when you're not focusing on them. So I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed at how they're... I was microing them a little bit, but not as much as I might have liked. And they are taking out organ guns and everything. I sent these rams to go after these organ guns, and he sees it and runs back. So that is pretty fun to see. So purple is being pushed back. Unfortunately though, and I have to be a little bit critical of my ally red here, he doesn't use this opportunity to rebuild his army at all. There is space, you could cancel all those farms, just delete the farms, you got 9,000 food, delete the farms, rebuild your army. So we do get a little bit of space here. I mean, it's hard to think of everything, hard to see everything for sure. But let's just look at the corner of our eye here, what's going on. Red has dropped a town center on the North Continent. So let's see what comes of that. Alright, so Team South is actually managing a decent rebound here. And we have siege onagers and elite Mangadai and hussars. And siege rams putting up a fight and trying to push back at the enemy Mongols. And every time I need wood, it comes. So, and I'm happy it does, because if you look, they've got a lot of wood. 11,000. Even red has all kinds of wood here. So, but to their credit, people were coordinating and sharing resources. Alright, so things were going pretty well, but we do hit a wall eventually, so this is a glitch. I'm pretty sure that is Portuguese, that's purple. But Team South is still in action. We have at least managed to, I would say, put a stop to the bleeding. Both orange and teal are dropping production buildings here, and we are attempting to push back. Red is preparing to do some epic migration, but unfortunately this is exactly when yellow sends a fleet, so let's see what happens there. So a lot of different things happening on the map here. It's really hard to see who is winning and who's losing right now. Definitely Team South is on the back foot, but a lot of different ways that this could go. So here we have green and teal rallying around these Mangadai, doing pretty decent damage. And I will say that this was really irritating here when you see all these enemy cavalry units killing your villagers, stopping your buildings from going up. So now I really wonder, like, red, why are you not rebounding? You know, like, you need resources? He definitely doesn't need resources. He's got 6,000 gold. He says... I don't know if he said he needs stone or he needs resources, but he has them. And he's about to use them in a big way. So he is dropping big time up here, right by the trade line. His base is being destroyed down here, but... Alright, so this is a bit of an interesting moment. I decided I had enough of these organ guns, and I sent down my cavalry, and I decided I'm just going to try to take them out. All of them. They must die. So I just concentrate on them. I think I managed to get most of them. But in the process, I abandoned the northern part of the front, and yellow begins to break through. So I'm beginning to say stone please, stone please. And the reason why is because I want to build a wonder. I am seeing that we're behind. I'm seeing that red has no army. I'm seeing that green is hurting as well. Orange keeps getting raided. It seems we've lost the water. And so I'm asking my allies for stone. Send me stone so that I can build a wonder. But it is not easy. So there we go. I think I got all of them except this one. 8 hit points. Yikes. Alright, so Team South, we are holding out, but I am desperate to build a wonder now. I'm almost out of resources. killed Purple's army here, I think. Oh, at least I got it this time. But Yellow is down here in full force, and this is a terrifying army here. The same way that I am playing Mongol Saurus here, and we've got fully upgraded. And I'm kind of out of. I don't have a lot of resources here. I think let's switch back to me. I don't have a lot of gold. I'm using my gold as fast as it comes in, so things are looking tough. But what's happening up here? Red, who had been out of action. People might have counted him out of the game. Above 200 supply, and is now wreaking havoc here on the North Island. And if you look, Blue has practically no units here, practically none. Neither does Yellow, neither does Gray. Red has an open continent now to destroy, and he raids these gold units. You can see the number just declining precipitously. He is pumping out units, but what he really needs to do now is send a group of these units straight across the continent, straight over here, and start raiding over here. That's what he needs to do. He needs to send his units across the entire continent before they can build units. And you can see that Yellow and Blue are already beginning to rally forces on the North Continent. So this is just, of course, did a lot of damage to the trade line. Blue is out of gold. Yellow is out of gold. Gray is almost out of gold. So you see that this raid from Red has done tremendous damage. And Red is not even close to being out of resources. He still has 5,000 gold. And all we need to do is send him food and he can continue this havoc. But I do think that he gets a little bit delayed here. You know, he's getting a little bit bogged down. He needs to send his forces across the island. Because you see that both Blue and Yellow are beginning to rally. Of course, just to say that it's such interesting timing, because at the same time that's happening, Purple is continuing to bulldoze his way across the continent. The one player who was on the southern continent, he was never seriously hurt here so far anyway, and his force continues to bulldoze across the continent. And Yellow, with his force on this continent, and Purple here are beginning to raid our trade line. So the same way that Red has raided Team North's trade line, Team North is raiding Team South's trade line. And I did immediately evacuate my trade cards, if I'm not mistaken. I evacuated them up here, but you know, while this is happening, I only have 31 left. While this is happening, I'm not getting any gold, and I'm not even maxed out. I'm at 200 supply. Things are not good for me. I am taking out this most recent Blue landing. I think this is Blue's third landing on the North Coast, so amazing job by Blue to continue the pressure there. But I need to now take out, almost alone, this breakthrough by Purple and Yellow, who've been knocking on the door of Team South all game and now have broken through and are raiding our trade line. It looks like Green below 100 supply, Red still up there, but all of his armies here. He doesn't have any force down here. I gotta say, I think it was up to Orange here to really help out a little bit more. He's below 200 supply, but he still has 7,000 food and 9,000 wood. So it really was up to him, I think, to help out a little bit more here, because our trade line is not running right now. So I slowed it down just because this is really the defining moment, I think, in the game. Such a very close game. You see the score is pretty even. But I'm actually really hurting right now. I do not. I'm building new villagers because I think I ran out of wood. Something happened to my wood line. My trade line is currently not running, and I've got a huge enemy force in the trade line, and I'm basically fighting it on my own. So that's tough. At the same time, Red continues to put pressure here. He keeps saying, food please. He has gold actually. He could probably buy it. And he's trying to raid as much as he can. Not sure how far he made it. See, I'm sending him food. I'm sending him 655 food, which is nothing. But Orange is sitting on 4,000 still. But to Orange's credit, he now uses it. He does the melee thing, and he's beginning to mass the swordsman line, the militia line. Although I don't think he has the two-handed upgrade yet. Alright, so I'm finally slowly clawing my way back here, but I think that yellow rebounds from this raid much faster than I do. Oh, maybe not. So yellow is not trading either at the moment. Red is still fighting down here. I do send my my trade cards back into force now, though, back into trading, because I do assume that this is about to be finished off, and I decide I can't wait any longer. I need to send my my trade cogs down. Who knows? Maybe they'll even help with distracting these forces. But I think green could have maybe. No, he could maybe build more villagers. But you know, we're actually running out of wood here. I think this is our last access to wood up here. We don't have much else. We're desperately trying to use up all the resources we have. Team North is in the same position. Alright, so the game is not over. Orange is massing troops. I think he's back to 300 almost. And he's pushing along the coastline, trying to destroy all the landings. Red is holding out up here, trying to cause as much damage as he can. And Team North continues to not be trading. I don't think they're trading at all, are they? They could be, maybe. Oh, they have a very micro trade line over here. Very, very good to do. I mean, someone could like sneer at that, but you know, it's really important to have income at all. It makes a huge difference. 68 gold, that's not bad. Actually not bad at all. So they trade half across the island. And Red continues to try to push across the island, but Red's huge bank that he had, without much income, he doesn't have much income. And his force is becoming a bit of a... He's kind of being isolated up here. He's cut off by the water. We can still send him resources, but you can see that Red is no longer able to... he's not really able to raid across the continent. At least he should be doing that, but he's not doing it. Gray is now also helping out. So this is actually a really lost opportunity here. Red is attacking houses. The last thing he should be doing, he should be attacking. Look at that, how little food there is. He should be attacking the farms. So you always have to do. Kill villagers. They're more valuable than houses, for sure. Alright, so Team South continues to be behind in the score. And, you know, I'm not necessarily recovering very fast. My gold line is back in action, but my force is down to, like, I am desperately trying to build villages here. I do not have a large force. This is pretty much it. A couple of ragtag troops. Orange is still doing pretty well, attacking yellow's castles here, but purple, who has been absolutely heroic all game. And here, the little food that I have, I send some to, don't tell me I sent it to orange. Oh, I did send it to orange. He had sent me a lot of wood in the game, so I decided to send him some back. But I kind of knew that it was a bad move, because I now need to desperately get and build that wonder. Like, that's our only chance, I think, to win this game at this point. Purple continues to rampage here, and I really wish that orange had actually helped me out on the southern front, because this is not really that critical. Honestly, I don't think it's that critical. Much more critical is securing our economy, which right now is wide open. We don't have a wall. We don't have any protection. Our economy is wide open. Okay, so here he does actually help. Okay, so I stand corrected. He does send some help. Has a little bit more up here that he can send. So this is interesting. Orange wants to help out Red. Wants to help out Red on the northern continent. So he's really curious to see if he makes it, actually. Alright, so I'm beginning to drop walls, and what am I going to do? Well, the familiar thing that I happen to always do when my team is behind. My plan is to drop a wonder right there, but this is looking risky. Look at this. We got an enemy army right next door, very close to the trade line. The non-existent trade line, apparently. Oh, there it is. Trying to encourage my team, get to 300 population, but and this is really frustrating. He's dropping castles everywhere. Blue, his trade line is recovering. He still has a huge bank. Yellow, I think he's back to 300 now. So they are Red's force here is contained. Blue has built the halberds, the counter. So although Red is still doing some damage, his landing here seems to have failed. So it's not really clear what the last hope of Team South is. I really do think it must be this non-existent wonder, which isn't even ready yet. So I think I'm just asking my allies for resources. Who knows if I ever get those resources. So Team South is definitely behind now. We are falling more and more behind. We don't really have an answer to this at all. There are no real armies on the southern continent. A little bit of rebuilding here, but not much. Orange's focus, I think, is in the wrong place. And it's not really clear at all that we're going to be able to counter this. But here comes one last raid. Let's see if this has an impact. Oh, I hope it doesn't run into these boats. Oh, that would be so painful. I really hope, oh, they probably do. Oh no. I didn't see this during the game at all. Let's go back to normal speed. Oh yeah, that's awful. That is awful. No villagers on board either. Dang. Does this one make it? There's a little bit of a fleet here. So one little landing. So I am really just trying to hold out a little bit. But it is not... Alright, so one group did land, but Red's base here is effectively destroyed. Red has, I think, nothing left. Probably still has some. Nope, still has a little bit of gold, but down to 86 supply. And his units are not doing too much. So Red is effectively out of action. Green holding out, but mostly just holding onto his base here. So we do manage to drop a wonder, and it is beginning to be built. So let's see how Team North reacts. Team North, we'll just slow it down here a little bit. They have a force here. He's managed to rebuild his Mangadai force, fully upgraded.
Attack the enemy with Eagle Scouts.
Perfect counter to this. Green is still here, but not too much fighting down there. But unfortunately, we do have a large purple force, and in fact, we have 4 cannons who are sneaking their way through. And this has got to be one of the more painful conclusions to a wonder attempt I've seen. But I do think it kind of gives a nice balance to those games where the wonder comes down to 2 years. Not this time. This time we made it to like 10% completion, and they did their job, and so he deleted them. I didn't even get the satisfaction of avenging my wonder, and so I think that here I tell my team I think we were dead for a long time. So that is, I think, more or less the end of the game. One last attempt there was made, but we technically still have an army. But Orange, who's kind of our last hope, is losing up here. I'm out of wood. Red is dead. Green still fighting, as he always does. Great player. And trying to push some pressure, but unfortunately that wonder's gone, and I think that it is a GG. So just big congrats to the whole everyone in this game. I really think that you need 8 players who are really committed to their teams to really make it an even match. If you have one player quitting early in a game on a map like this, obviously the whole game can't really becomes even more unbalanced. But if you have 8 players who know the map, who know how to take advantage of the strengths and weaknesses of both sides, then you can have a really dynamic game as we did here. And I actually thought this was with watching the replay was really great. This battle unfortunately is not that great for me, and I think if ever there was a sign that it's over, this is, I think, it here. Let me see if I get one kill. Oh, got one there. That's good. But unfortunately, the age of the Mongol seems to be over, at least from Team South, and so that is not a pretty sight. Purple deservedly gets anyway, he definitely held out really well here, and you just see the path of destruction that he created on Team South. smashing his way all the way, and now he's at the trade line. So, good game to everyone. I really thought it was impressive how Orange retook the water. He actually raided pretty late in the game the fish up here, almost destroyed the trade line. He did the Malay upgrades. You know, he got the harbors that shoot. He got the granite swordsman. I think both Mongol players used the Civ pretty well, and I think most players had full random here, so it was actually totally by chance, I think. But when you get Mongols, it's always great to be able to take advantage of those fast siege units and those cavalry units, cavalry archery units to the map here. Alright, so I think we caught almost everything that happened. No one really went to these islands in the end, but they can be a good way to boost your economy. So yeah, just really close game. You saw the teams went up and down a couple times, and just big hats off to everyone in this game. I thought every player was played a really great role in making sure their team stuck at least in the game or helped their team win. So big congrats to them. Let's go check out the score quickly. And so pretty good score from everyone. Long game, hour and a half. It was Orange who had the largest army there, 167. All those 200 swordsmen. Lots of strong results here. Buildings raised. Look at that. It's interesting. That must have been Red's landing there. Trade. So somehow I ended up with the most trade. So that's probably helped me pump out all those units, which you can see took a lot of the beating, I suppose. So both Mongol players, I think, had a pretty significant impact on the front lines in the land battle. And then it's actually pretty convenient we had a Malay, which is good for a water map like this. Alright, so technology, society, yeah, so typical, way too many villagers. Actually, this is great. You had several players who had over 200, which is what you have to do on a 300 player game, 300 population game. Purple, of course, with only 46, those Victorias come to mind. And of course, the whole range of events here. You see the population dipped quite dramatically there as one team was getting pushed more and more to the corner. So I definitely should have dropped the wonder earlier. But somehow, when I saw Red do the landing on the northern continent, I thought, who knows? Maybe he can just raid across the whole continent up there and completely turn the script, and we'll have some way to win. But we never really had a long-term solution to Purple. We destroyed his organ gun force at least twice, but he always rebuilt it, and I think that's probably one of the factors that really hurt us in this game. So, big congrats to all the players, thanks to them, and thanks to all of you, and yeah, catch you on the next one. Cheers!